Last season, Derby County supporters faced an unfamiliar test, as the football on the field was overshadowed by the threat of liquidation. The club was ultimately relegated from the Championship, with its future uncertain, and many fearing it was all over. Tomorrow, Derby will kick off a new chapter in its history under new ownership, this time in League One. Few fans will forget what happened last season, and the same can be said for the football policing unit, who faced an unfamiliar test of their own as fans protested against the club's situation.
You watch programmes of Cloughie when he had Derby back in the 70s, and if Derby won on a Saturday, Rolls-Royce and other industries used to say that productivity went up on a Monday morning because everybody's in a good mood and happy just because the football team had kicked a ball in a goal more than what the other football team had done. So productivity goes up. But I know personally individuals, and for everyone that you know, there's always 10 or 20 more that you don't know about, isn't there? The ones that maybe don't see another soul from one week to another due to personal choice, personal circumstances. You know, and I know that there's fans that go and watch that who have got terminal cancer, who have got chronic and really painful illnesses, and yet for that 2 hours, all that's forgotten. You know, they're behind something, they're part of something. You know, a lot of lonely individuals who don't have the circle of friends can suddenly be part of a group of people that's got of 30,000, and they feel like they belong somewhere.
The strong feeling off the pitch culminated in a march through the city on the morning of January the 30th, before the home game against Birmingham City. Roger and the rest of the team knew that the march would be well supported, and they had just days to help make sure it ran smoothly and safely.
Got in touch with them and says, listen, if you're going to have this march, let's help. Let's tell you what you can do, what you can't do. We want this to be a safe event. We want it to reflect well on the football club. The more we can do that, the less officers we have to put to it. The onus is on them to sort out their own health and safety, their own stewarding, sort out their own route. We probably had, in conjunction with Derby City Council, other blue light services, other stakeholders, they organised themselves probably 4 days to get it on the road. And I said to them, how many do you think will turn up? And they said, oh, we expect sort of 750. And even we'd said, there's going to be a lot more than that. A lot more than that. And we sort of put it around circa the 10,000 mark, which is a ridiculous amount of people to move safely with 4 days' notice to plan. So again, you could hear the passion and the pride, not only for the football club but for the city of Derby. Because for me, that wasn't just about a football club; that was about the city of Derby. I got to meet Audrina. You know Audrina, the little girl that was poorly. I got to meet her, and she done some social media work about what Derby County means to the city of Derby. Absolutely, it got a little bit dusty because I got a little bit of a tear in my eye that day. So to meet Audrina was, and I see her now and again, and you know, a little girl who's battled severe illness and pain. And there again, I spoke earlier about what football means to people. Anybody's got any doubt about what it means to people, just Google Audrina and see what it means to her, because she typifies everything that's good about football and about Derby County and about the city of Derby. So there were some issues on the march really. A bit of pyrotechnic was let off. People trying to capture that European style of procession, but nothing that we didn't manage. And we had some real nice thank yous from the organisers and from a lot of fans on the day, because I think it typified what we do best. If we can work with people in good time and make things happen in conjunction with them, then there's no surprises. You know, no surprises policing. That's what we're supposed to do in public order policing these days, and that was a real good example by everybody that was involved really.
The situation at Derby showed just how much passion there is for football in our county, with both the Rams and the Smyrites in Chesterfield drawing thousands through the turnstiles. One of the nicer sides of football policing is being in the thick of it with those supporters and hearing their creativity when it comes to their chants.
They're really good football fans at banter. I mean, anything goes wrong with anybody's club, their imaginations go wild, and some of the songs they come up with, I can't think of one that I can repeat, to be honest, that I'd want to put on camera.
My favourite chant has to be The Bounce, because watching it from, obviously we stand near the pitch, and watching it is just unbelievable. But it's always the reaction you get from the away fans, who it's like a shock factor. And you'll always get, I'm not going to swear, but they'll always say, "What the hell was that?" But yeah, it has a big impact.
I quite like seeing emotions in people when it's lawful anyway. The one about they docked to 21 points, that's my favourite, because as I say, I'm not a Derby fan of the club, of the team, but I say that it creeps up on you after 20 odd years. Do you know what I mean? But that song, yeah, it makes hairs on your back, your neck stand up. That one's different because that's sort of pulled together on occasion 20, 30,000 people, and the fact of what's happening to Derby County, you can hear that passion and that anger coming through in that chant when it's sung. You know, times many this season, visiting officers from other forces have come, and when they stand in front of South Stand and they can hear that being sung, it's like, wow. You know, and also when Derby's away from home several times this year, not the police forces but the football clubs where they've been playing have said they're the most vocal, passionate support that we've had this season, or for many years. So.
Another perk of football policing is having ringside seats to some of the biggest moments in football, even if the officers do have to stand with their backs to the action.
Obviously Chesterfield took 6,000 fans to Chelsea back in January, and I was privileged enough to go inside the stadium in the corner underneath the two tiers where Chesterfield fans were, and that's certainly when Chesterfield scored in the 81st minute. That's a memory that will live with me forever. You know, it's one of them spine-tingling moments.
The playoff semi-final second leg up at Ellen Road, and Derby of course are 1-0 down from the first leg, and it's a lost cause really, and then of course Derby pull it out the bag and they end up winning, and the atmosphere in that ground that night was amazing.
While Derby have a fresh start in League One, it's all changed for Roger as he calls it a day after 20 years of football policing. He leaves behind a legacy of change, having been part of a team that has built bridges between football supporters and police with the goal of keeping it safe for everyone to enjoy.
I think I've got the best job in British policing. My job is my hobby and my hobby's my job, so there's not many people that can say that.
He's just got a way about him, a way of engaging with the fans. Roger's Rog. He's brilliant.
He's a massive personality. The stuff he's done certainly for policing football, not within Derbyshire, but he's been on the England team for 6 years as well. I will miss his little digs, as annoying as they are at the time, because I hear him about 30 times a day. But no, he's a good lad.
I'll miss the banter. I'll miss walking into a boozer. It tends to gripe after about 7 or 8 hours, but you walk into a pub to check it and somebody will present somebody in front of you and go, here they are, this is the one you're looking for, officer. Brilliant, thanks very much. Or, you know, the other sort of banter that you get, the appropriate banter that you get. I'll miss the energy inside a football ground. I'm hoping that I'll be able to go and watch my own team, who shall remain nameless, Mansfield. I'll miss it.